Hi everyone, it's Ali and welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for joining me. Well, today, after lots of requests, I finally have done the video for my triple unison slider card. I made this card, I think it was last week, and lots of people requested a video, so here it is. So I'm going to start with the base piece, which is the piece with the clouds on it there at the back. And I've just used my mini cloud stencil and my cloud stencil from My Favourite Things. And also the new Tumble Glass Distress Oxide, which is a great light blue for clouds. And I've just taken that down the page like so to create that cloud background. And I'm going to cut those 3 slider elements out of that piece. And now I'm going to do the grass and the leaves. And the leaves are a Hello Bluebird die, which they're really fabulous leaves on this die, and also my grassy hillside die to cut the grass for the front panel for the animals to sort of slide behind. So I've just trimmed that to size and I'm just placing that on. I'm going to stick the light pieces onto the dark piece of grass and then trim any overhang from the back there, like so. And then I'm going to grab my slider dies from My Favourite Things and I'm going to use that straight one. I'm just positioning it behind the grass. I've run that through my Big Shot, and make sure to tape your washi tape down the bottom because it does, my washi tape does anyway, it tears the paper just a little, but it doesn't matter if it's behind that grass where the grass is going to go. So I just did 3 of those along the page, 1 in the middle and 1 each side, and then I'm sticking back those pieces that came out. I've placed my piece just over the top of the card and then I'm adhering those strips back into place so that when I assemble my card they're going to be in the right spot. Then I just lift that front piece off again. And that's my mono sand eraser, which is a lifesaver. The number of times I've smudged things and I've fixed it up with that has been just phenomenal. So that's where my grass is going to go. And I did adhere my grass on next, which I advise that you don't do, but I'll show you where I put my 3D foam right along the edge because you don't want it to get in the way of the animal sliding down behind it. So you just need to have sort of thin strips of 3D foam right around the edge of that piece. And as I said, don't do this step now, otherwise you'll have to take it off again like I do later on. So that's where it's going to go on the front. And then I'm just going to adhere my leaves across the top for the trees, sort of tree line along the top of it, and then trim off any excess from the back of that piece. Okay, now I want to do my animals. I didn't show the colouring just because otherwise the video would have been way too long. But if you're interested, drop me a comment and I'll let you know what colours I've used. So I'm just grabbing 2 acetate strips there, and this is what I'm going to do to create my slider mechanism. So I'm going to have 1 strip going along the bottom and the other one going up the middle section. So it's going to form a T. I'm just cutting the acetate strip to size. And I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive on the bottom of that piece and then make it into a T formation with those 2 acetate strips, and that's how they all move together. So fairly easy, nothing really complicated about it. And then I realised that I would have to take my grass off, which I did very carefully because I needed to look through and stick my little pieces of 3D foam on the acetate in those little slots there. So I've just stuck a little bit of 3D foam, and they tend to keep the acetate in place so that it rides up and down the slots really quite well. And then I'm just looking at where my animals need to go, just hiding them behind the grass and then sticking them onto that little piece of 3D foam. And then I can stick my grass back on, like so. Just pop that back in place. And then the animals slide up and down. So I don't want them to slide all the way up to the top of those slider spots. I just want them to go to about there. So I just hold that in place, turn it over, and then I'm going to put some 3D foam on the back of that, just sort of above the acetate so that it can't go any further than those 2 bits of foam, so that it stops it there. Otherwise the animals will go too high, obviously, and they might get stuck on the grass on the way down and so on. And then I just put 2 pieces at the top as well to keep that acetate strip from wobbling around. And then I'm going to add the little hands on these little Peekaboo Pals. Oh, the Peekaboo, by the way, it's the Avery L Peekaboo Pals stamp set that I'm using today. And then I'm just going to cut the grass behind the little hands, because obviously the hands would fold over the grass where they're peeking their hands over the top of that hillside. I'm just going to cut a little slot there for the circle for the pull tab, like so. And then just make sure it's moving well and freely. Now it's time to put some 3D foam over the back, and again you don't want it down that sort of bottom, I guess, half, unless it's right on the edge, because you don't want it to get in the way of the animals moving. So just keep checking it. Oh, now I'm using my Misty just to actually line up on the front of my card. I don't know if you've done this before, but it's quite a handy little tip. So it just means that you don't have to really eyeball it and get it completely right. You can use the edges of your Misty or your stamp positioner to get everything in line. Perfect. Now I'm going to just punch a little hole for the top of that pull tab and just adhere that to the top of the acetate pull bit. And oh, this stamp set is like a lifesaver. It's Hefty Doodle, Interactively Yours, and it's got so many little interactive stamps that you can use on your interactive cards. It's really, really handy. And that's it. Oh, and just the sentiment, which I've just stamped with Versamark ink and white embossed on black card. And that's how it works. So I hope you enjoyed the video. And thanks so much for all your likes and comments on my Instagram for this card. It was just amazing, and I was thrilled that you loved it. And here's some more videos that you might enjoy watching. And thanks so much again for joining me on my channel, and I will see you again next time.